Hey guys, Marcel here with another interview. We talked to Steve after a pretty decent week performance. I think you managed to exceed the expectations. You went 1-1 against G2 and 2-0 against Giants. So how do you feel about accomplishing that?
Okay, so about G2, we felt like they're a really strong roster. Like in scrims, it's pretty difficult. They have good map play, but I think in game 2, for example, we showed that we made some better map plays than them, which got us the game, and we just snowballed off that. But game 1 was pretty close, but we could have won it as well, I think. Against Giants, though, we didn't know what to expect because every time we play against them in practice, they either smash us completely or we smash them completely, like 5-0, the day is over. But so yeah, we didn't know what they would bring to the table, and I think game 1 was pretty good. And then game 2 we had to make a comeback because one of our winning conditions, I think the draft was not the greatest, but maybe because I decided I wanted to play Jax in the Irelia matchup, except they had an Elise, and we kind of messed up the lane swap, and it meant that every time there was a big wave coming into my tower, that Irelia was slow pushing, Elise would just wait for me. And okay, so they swapped back. They put their dual lane bots during the lane swap, during the second tower. So I had to push in top, right? Except, Gillis came to help me, but Zillion was moving there as well, which means she kind of got a freeze on me and got a lot of farm. So I got behind from this, and one of our winning conditions, which was me being at least even or heads of the Irelia, was lost. So we had to stall the game super long, and they couldn't finish the game for some reason. They didn't make They had 1-3-1 and they couldn't make the place, so we managed to stall long enough, and then Gillies stole the Baron. So yeah, that's pretty big, and yeah, we just finished the game there after a good team fight.
So okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Schalke always had difficult. I think you guys have a really good early game always, and the first 15 minutes are always good, but then the map play seems to be sometimes a bit off, right? So how come you guys had really good map play against G2, but then against a team like Giants, who should be relatively weaker in the standings? Why is it not the same? Is there a bit of an inconsistency issue right now?
I think it's because we used to not play very good, but then we improved, actually. We looked at during the week we played Fnatic, we got 0-2'd, and then we 2-0'd Rockets, but during these games, both early games were really bad, and we had to come back somehow. And we saw every mistake we did, and we knew we had to fix all of these during the week, and this is why we played much better during this week.
Okay, so I think everyone can agree that I think 2 players in your team, especially MrRalleZ and Fox, the carries, are playing a pretty decent split so far, individually, right? So what happened for example, for a player like MrRalleZ? How did he get from barely noticed to one of the best performers in your team? Is it maybe organization switch from Elements to Schalke, or what's the infrastructure? Does it help, or what's the case there?
I wouldn't put it on any of this, but more gameplay-wise, we're just getting better and better. We had some problems with where the jungler should be on the map, and we fixed this. This caused problems for Raz because he could never push in the waves, and the enemy AD would always do this. In the lane swap, for example. And since we fixed this, he was able to be much more fed and be ahead of probably enemy AD carry. But he was always good. He was always performing solidly, or never losing the game alone. That's for sure. He never loses the game. He might get caught 1 or 2 times in 15 games. Really good player. And
all right. So of course, moving forward, you guys working on issues, right? So where do you see yourself at the end of the 9th week? Where playoffs is locked in. Do you think right now you're a playoffs contender, or where would you rank yourself maybe in terms of individual progress too, in terms of yourself as a player?
Well, for sure, yeah. We're looking for playoffs. That's for sure. We were used to be 7th place, but yeah. Wait, I need to refocus. What was the question again?
So yeah, you told me you guys are going for playoffs, right? And then you individually as a player, how do you think you're developed so far?
Well, yeah, I tend to play much less tanks than before, and I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable on carries. I didn't show it that much this game on Jax against the Giants, but that was because we messed up. And then in this matchup, it's just, if you're behind, you will always stay behind, and if you're ahead, you will always be ahead. But it's a pretty even matchup. And yeah, the whole team getting individually better, fixing all the mistakes, and yeah, we're playing just better as a team.
Okay, so you talked about you play less tanks, more of a carry-oriented role. What do you think of the meta right now? Do you like the champions that are being played? Like, do you like the Triforce Irelia right now that it's being played a lot? And Jax is coming back as a carry, kind of. And I guess Na is in the same category somewhat. But like, what's your like take on carry to tanks?
Okay, so we can. I think there's more like the tanks, and then like kind of off tanks. I would put Ignore and Trundle there, which you're tanky, but you can also be strong in side lane. That's the difference between a tank and like Ignore and a Trundle. And then there's all these picks like and Olaf as well. And then there's and these picks do both good against tanks and against carries. Maybe Ignore not too much, but like Trundle and Olaf really good into carries. And then there's like Jax, Irelia. That's like the champions right now that are played. But and then the tanks like Shen, all this stuff, Gragas. But I'm not too convinced. I don't think it's that strong right now, which is why I prefer to play carries.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much for this interview. Always a pleasure to interview you. And if you guys want to check out more stuff, theScore eSports.com is the website to go. And see you guys next time.